Got a special road test review today of the Ford Focus RS. I've wanted to drive one of these cars since it came out, and as you guys all know, this car is now discontinued, and whatever is on the ground in the United States is whatever's going to be available. And I've driven the Golf R several times. A friend of mine has one with a DSG, and one of my good clients, he bought his son the Civic Type R, which I drove as well. So if you guys are in the hot hatch segment, you know, you're cross-shopping these cars, but they're all uniquely different. They all do everything really well. But this one, in my opinion, looks the meanest. You know, it's got a really cool look to it, very rally-inspired look. And of course, if you guys know your history of Ford had the Escort RS Cosworth back in the 90s, which is, of course, a rally-derived car. And right now, the collectability of that car is intrinsically climbing year by year because it's so rare and so hard to obtain a good one. But and I still see the fate of this Focus RS going in the same direction because it's a special car. It's built in Germany, not in the United States. The build quality is outstanding. The fit and finish is outstanding. And it's a pretty cool car because it has torque vectoring all-wheel drive, okay, which is very different than the Volkswagen 4Motion system, and you know, the Honda, of course, is front-wheel drive, and they designed the front suspension to eliminate torque steer, which is, you know, common in all high-horsepower front-wheel drive cars. But you know, this car being a front-wheel drive platform, it doesn't have that torque steer. It has razor-sharp steering. I mean razor-sharp, and we're on some bad roads right now. This particular car is riding on Michelin Pilot Sport Cup 2s. That was an option on this car. And some of them on the ground, the last remaining ones, have the Pilot P4S. And like I said, for an electronic power steering system, it is so direct, it is so precise, the inputs are incredible. Now, the one thing that I love about this car, like a lot of journalists have been reviewing it and they're complaining on how harsh the ride is. But to be honest with you, these are guys that don't own high-performance cars and drive them, you know, on a regular basis. Now, this ride, in my opinion, is perfect. The shock valving, the spring rates, the chassis stiffness feels perfect. And I'm banging around on some of the worst roads in New York, and it's just a testament of the quality and the engineering that went into this car's development. I absolutely love it. I mean, it feels like a properly sorted tuner car that you would get from Germany, whether it's a Porsche or a BMW M3 or anything like that. I mean, it just feels so well developed. You know, the 2.3 liter EcoBoost 4-cylinder, it's got, you know, 350 horsepower, 350 foot-pounds of torque. It's a little loud in here because, like I said, this is not a luxury car. This is a high-performance, all-wheel drive hatch. That is a rally-inspired car. So if you guys, you know, you watch Ken Block in the Gymkhana series, I mean, this is, you know, this is the foundation right here. And it's really cool because the aftermarket support for these cars is really, really strong. They make some incredible parts. I mean, I've seen some of these cars with 500, 600 horsepower, coilover suspension, more aero. It's just unbelievable what you could do to these cars. And, you know, for the money, you can get these cars at a really good deal right now. And I'll be honest with you, this is a special car because the Golf R, you know, it's a good car. It's a good driving car, but it's an easy car for anyone to get in and drive hard. The Civic Type R, I personally like that a little bit better than the Golf R. It just has a little bit more character. It feels a little bit more special on the inside and on the outside. And, you know, of course, they're completely different cars. That's the cheapest one out of the bunch. It's also the lightest one out of the bunch. But I tell you, man, this car is so cool. I've been driving it for the day, and I strapped the camera on the inside and the outside. I want to get you guys a little bit of a review. And then we'll do the walk around and show you the exterior, the options. And I'm going to put you guys in touch with the Ford dealer in New York, Smith Cairns Ford. And if anybody out there is looking for a shadow black Ford Focus RS, this one comes autofanatic approved in every which way possible. I mean, the steering is incredible, and you guys can see in the camera, I mean, it's just turn after turn, and the grip and the turn-in, it's unbelievable. It really is. I am so impressed with this car. Unbelievable. It really is. So we're going to get out of this little traffic bit here. Well, guys, I can't even tell you how much I'm enjoying driving this car this morning. It is absolutely a blast. I mean, like I said, the suspension tuning is, in my opinion, perfect. Absolutely perfect. It feels like a BMW M3 competition package, like the way it's sprung. I mean, just look at these turns. Oh, it just feels so good. The rebound and the shocks. And those Cup 2s definitely have a lot to do with the grip, but oh man, this car is a blast. Absolute blast. I love it. Absolutely love it. Now, a lot of people are complaining about the driving position and the pedal placement. Yes, the pedals are a little bit harder to heel toe. The driving position, you're a little bit higher. You get used to it. It's a different type of a car. You're not sitting on the ground like you are in a Corvette or in a Porsche, you know, some other cars like that. So it's not designed to be like that. The shifter's pretty good. It's not the best. I think the shifter in the Honda Civic Type R is definitely feels to me a little bit better. But, I mean, this is where this car truly shines, is on a road like this. Man, this thing is a blast. The car is perfectly stable. You could feel aerodynamically it's good. It's not like all over the road. Steering is perfect. For an electronic power steering, in a small car like this is one of the best that I've ever felt. Unbelievable. Unbelievable car. Really is. Now the brakes in this car, they're the Brembos, and they're not fully bed in yet. Like I said, the car is brand new, so I'm not getting on the brakes right now. I just don't want to do that to the car. But give it a couple of 100 miles for the brake pads to really bed in, and the braking power is going to definitely be better. And with the aftermarket, you want better braking, just swap the pads. But, I mean, I'm just going through turn after turn. Of course, they're mowing. Right when I want to go through this, my favorite part of the highway is right there. So now on smooth roads, like, you know, we're on a smooth part of the highway right here, it feels perfect. Seats are comfortable, the ride quality is perfect. You know, when you're further south, it's very choppy, but you do that in any car, a Corvette, a Cadillac CTS-V, my GT350. That's just what it is. It's depending on where you live. But as far as fun factor goes and practicality, I mean, these cars are hot for a reason, because they deliver and check off all those boxes for most people that are in this segment. I gotta say, the two things that I love about this car so far, and I keep coming back to, is the suspension tuning and the chassis tuning and the steering. I mean, the engine, yeah, I'm used to higher horsepower, naturally aspirated motor is fine, but the chassis and the steering is so well developed in this car. Man. I love it, absolutely love it. This car's for sale, and I'm going to be honest with you, I never thought it was going to be this much fun, and I may actually have to strike a deal with the dealer and buy it for myself. This would be a really awesome daily driver for me, and have the all-wheel drive versatility, and have the cargo capacity in the back, so I could fold down the seats and, you know, throw mountain bikes in the back and, you know, gear for work. But and a lot of guys, you know, you out there on my channel, a lot of you guys are Ford performance enthusiasts. You have Shelbys, you have Raptors, and some of you guys even have this. And I actually got a couple of emails from guys that traded in their Shelbys to pick one of these up because they thought it was more practical in Chicago and Minnesota, you know, with the weather. And I get it. I mean, you're sacrificing some, but as far as fun factor, you could actually enjoy this more of the time than you can the Shelby on the same road, just because of the horsepower, how nimble and small this car is, the grip, and how tossable the chassis is. Whereas the Shelby is a much larger car, higher horsepower car. It's really has to be revved out in a much higher RPM band to really have some fun with it. But I tell you, man, this thing is a blast. I feel it. I feel the the adrenaline pumping as I'm powering through the highway on this thing. I love it. Absolutely love this car. The Recaro seats, I feel, are some of the best ones that I've sat in for an OEM Recaro seat. And like I said, some people complain about the dash and everything else. It's not, you know, really cool in terms of a design aesthetic. But granted, I would have liked some analog round gauges and some round gauges up top instead of having the way they did it there, just to make it more rally and more modern inspired. But they took a standard platform car and they kind of beefed it up, and they did it the right way. So there's always going to be good in the take. And the same thing with the Cadillac ATS-V. It's one of the most amazing driving cars, but when you sit in it, it just blah. You know, everybody complains about the instrument cluster and the dash and everything in between, and that's just where you're going to fall short sometimes. You know, the engineers, they're focusing, developing the car and the driving performance, not like, hey, let's make the dashboard look cool and the steering wheel look special. You know, that's just how they're saving money, and they're able to offer you these cars, you know, cheaper than some of the competition out there. And this is the most expensive version in the hot hatch segment. Now, I haven't driven the Subaru WRX STIs. I haven't driven one of those cars in a very long time. You know, the Evo was pretty much the king in this segment up until they canceled that car a number of years ago. But in my opinion, from driving the Civic Type R, which is a front-wheel drive car, I think the styling in that car is just a little bit too, you know, too much for me. You know, maybe if you're younger, it's totally what you're looking for, but I like this. This has got just the right amount of style and flair to make it look special and different, whereas the Golf R, it just looks like a Golf, you know, that's got a different set of wheels and the two pipes at the back, so that's just what it is. I mean, it just pulls through this turn like nothing. Absolutely amazing. And I like feeling everything in the road. I mean, that's what you want in a performance car. If you didn't feel that, what feedback and what communication as the driver are you going to get? And that's the thing with a lot of cars today. They take that out. And a lot of the new BMW M cars, you know, you guys could, you know, say no till you turn blue in the face, but I personally like the older ones. I think they delivered more of this transient feedback that I'm feeling in the chassis and the steering. And whereas the new ones, you get in and, you know, it's a little numb. You don't get all of that. You know, it's just not giving you what you expect for the money. But this car is a hit, man. My God. And this highway is probably the perfect highway for this road test, just because of the elevations, the declines, the switchback turns, and of course we got a lot of bumps now, but you'll see this in the camera. chassis just soaks up the bumps. I mean, it's just a testament to the build quality of this car. My God. You go back 10, 15 years and you drive a Ford, it's not going to feel like this. And whatever you're picking up in the audio as far as shakes, it's my camera gear and stuff that's just laying in the cup holders and everything in between. There's no rattles in this car, even with the Pilot Sport Cup 2 tires. It is tight as a drum. All right, guys, this is the conclusion of my Ford Focus RS review. I'm going to give you guys my final thoughts. If you guys hear my commentary during the drive portion, the car's incredible. It is so much fun to drive this car. And someone like me that loves performance cars and loves well-engineered cars really, really appreciates this car. If you've never been on a racetrack or been in a race car or owned a high-performance car, this may be a little bit too much roughness and edgy for you, but it really depends what you're going for. And these cars are hot right now, these hot hatches. And this one, out of all three that I've driven, the Type R, Honda Civic, the Volkswagen Golf R, and now the Ford Focus RS, this is my favorite. The grip, the torque vectoring all-wheel drive, the Pilot Sport Cup 2 tires, the communicative steering, the stiff chassis, the proper spring and shock dampening, it is superb. This car is an absolute blast. I didn't want to stop driving it, literally. I absolutely love this car, and this would make, for me, a really good choice for a daily driver, and I actually may consider it. I'm going to be honest with you, but a couple of things I want to tell you guys, and this is important because you can't buy these cars new anymore. You can't order one. This is it. Whatever's on the ground is all that's going to be available. Dealers are willing to do a deal on these cars, including my local dealer, Smith Cairns Ford. I'm going to put the manager's contact information and the dealership's information in the description of this video. If you guys are a hardcore performance enthusiast and you're looking for a car in this segment and you really want a Ford Focus RS, I'm going to tell you right now, this car is incredible. Shadow black, nitrous blue brakes. It's got the Pilot Sport Cup 2 tires, you know, it's an option. And other than that, the car is incredible. It is a blast to drive. It's fun. It's made in Germany. It's well built. The fit and finish, in my opinion, is much better than a new Mustang. But other than that, I think you're getting a lot of car for the money. You really, really are. And, you know, this is the most expensive hot hatch in the market right now. But to be honest with you, I think, in my opinion, this is the best one. I like the styling. I like the all-wheel drive system. I'm not really a big fan of the Audi Volkswagen all-wheel drive systems. I never was. I don't like the way the steering feels when you're pushing it through a turn. I like the braking system on this car. I like the forged wheels with the Pilot Sport Cup 2 tires. Just everything. The Recaro seats, phenomenal seats. You have to get used to the clutch. You have to get used to the driving position. You know, those are little things that a lot of journalists are nitpicking about, but someone like me, within 5 minutes, I'm already used to the car. It's not really a big deal. And the same thing for you, so don't let that deter you. But the most important thing I want to tell you guys about now, if you're considering buying this car, you better do it fast because there's not a lot of them on the ground. Number two, Ford Performance is never going to make another hot hatch again. This is it. Okay, they're going to kill off the GT350 Shelby. They killed up the Focus RS, and who knows, they may kill off the Raptor. That's just the economies of scale with business, and automakers want to make these cars, you know, the engineers, but if people aren't buying them in numbers, it's not profitable for them to do it, and then they kill off the program. Look what happened with the Dodge Viper. You know, that's just what happens. Now they finally brought back the new Ford GT, and we don't know what the future is going to hold, but look at the history of the RS Fords, the rally sport cars, the Cosworth Escort from the 90s. Look at the values. I'm telling you right now, this Ford Focus RS is only going to go up in value as the years go on. So you're going to be able to buy it, enjoy it, and it's going to be a stable investment. Trust me, I watch the market on a regular basis. That's part of what I do, is consulting and buying and selling specialty cars for people. That's another separate business that I have altogether. I'll tell you right now, this car, give it 5 years, give it 10 years. These things are going to cross the auction block, and you're going to get your money and make some on it. Mark my words. So if you guys are in the hot hatch market and you're looking for one of these, contact Smith Cairns Ford. I'll put their info in the video below. I absolutely love it. This car is 100% autofanatic approved. That's going to be my new catchphrase, I think, going forward with my car review videos. This car excited me so much. I enjoy driving it so much. It actually got my adrenaline pumping, and it takes a lot for me to get that out of a car. And the fact that you could ring this car out and get that feeling on most of your daily driving roads, especially in New York. I mean, you know, I can't get this exhilaration all day long driving the GT350. It's too big of a car, too powerful, not enough room. But something like this, you could have a blast with it as soon as you leave the house in the morning till you come home at night. I mean, it's a total bargain, total blast. You throw some winter tires on it. Now you drive it all year round in the winter. It's got the cargo space. It's got, you know, it's a four-door sedan, so it's got the versatility of a sedan. I mean, just everything about it. It's like, hey, if you want a sports car, but you don't want to deal with a two-seater, you don't want to deal with a car you can only drive, you know, in the nicer months of the year, and you live, you know, where we have snow. I know why these cars are hot, man, and I tell you, man, they did a freaking hell of a job engineering this car for performance, and I am very, very impressed. So, see you guys soon. Thanks for watching the video. Post your comments below. If you guys have this car, let me know how you love it. Let me know long-term durability of it. And I'm going to just let you guys know the values are going to go up. Take it from me. I'm not a journalist. I know the collector car market, especially car market. That's what I do for a living. So any questions, comments, post it below. Hope you guys enjoy the video. Stay tuned. Many more car reviews to come in the future. See you soon. autofanatic@yahoo.com. Take care.